Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today's topic is going to be a little more serious than usual, because this time, we will be talking about cases where BeamNG became the target of malware attacks. Even though the BeamNG developers do everything they can to keep the game safe, there have been two instances where actual malware managed to find its way into the game. In this video, we will take a closer look at both incidents and the stories behind them. So, let's get straight to the first case. Around late May and early June of 2024, a hacker group called Nullbulge distributed many leaked BeamNG mods through various third-party websites, Reddit leak groups, and Telegram channels. Each of these mods contained a malicious Lua file named versioncheck.lua. Inside that file was a heavily obfuscated PowerShell command. As soon as BeamNG launched and the infected mod was loaded, this PowerShell command was decoded and downloaded a dangerous remote access Trojan from the internet. Once active, the malware performed standard harmful actions, maintaining persistence, stealing browser passwords, and in some cases, emptying crypto wallets. In the worst cases, it could take full control of the infected computer. To this day, there's no precise information on which mods were affected or their total number. However, the community managed to trace 3 Modland accounts that were responsible for spreading the infected mods to the public. The 3 accounts involved are Applebots, MDH305, and Shootin' Apples. 2 of these accounts are still active on Modland, while MDH305 appears to have been deleted, as there's no trace of it anymore. It's surprising that despite such a serious issue, those 2 accounts remain active and haven't been removed from the site to this day. But that's not the end of the story. Around the same time, the infamous Disney hack occurred, leaking over 1.1 terabytes of sensitive data online. Interestingly, the group responsible for this hack was also Nullbulge. It didn't take long, and people began connecting the infected BeamNG mods with the Disney hack. Eventually, articles surfaced online suggesting that the hack occurred because a Disney employee had downloaded an infected BeamNG mod. But the truth was a bit different. The Trojanized BeamNG mods and the Disney hack were not connected at all. Although they were carried out by the same group, the Disney hack was actually caused by an AI image generation tool from GitHub, not by a BeamNG mod. I'll leave a link to an article about this incident in the video description. But now, let's return to the BeamNG story. This whole situation sparked serious concern in the community. There was even an announcement on the official BeamNG forum that mod approvals will be suspended until further notice. Many players believed it was because of the Lua malware. This theory is supported by a small security update released at the end of July, which mentions some security improvements. Since the developers never shared any details, we can only speculate whether those security improvements were related to the Lua malware incident or not. The second attack, which happened in April this year, was once again caused by a BeamNG mod. One day, a player named Lemonite decided to play BeamNG as usual, but shortly after launching the game, his antivirus program alerted him that an application had tried to access a malicious domain. At first, Lemonite wasn't sure if the alert is related to BeamNG or something else, so he began investigating. It didn't take long before his suspicions were confirmed. The application trying to access the domain was indeed BeamNG itself. But this raised a serious question. Was it a mod, or was the game itself somehow compromised? After a bit of testing, Lemonite discovered that BeamNG tried to access the malicious domain every time he opened the in-game mod manager. This clearly meant that one of his mods was infected. To find out which mod was causing the problem, he deactivated all his mods and began reactivating them one by one. And the moment he activated the American roadmap, his antivirus went crazy again. Now that he knew which mod was responsible, finding the malicious code became much easier. Inside the mods files, he discovered a suspicious JavaScript file. This script, written in a strangely complex and unnecessary way, was trying to load a compiled CSS file banner.c_css. When Lemonite decoded the data inside, he found that the file was exploiting a vulnerability in Chromium, which BeamNG uses to render parts of its UI. In other words, you didn't even need to play the American roadmap. Simply opening the mod manager was enough to trigger the malicious code. Thanks to this exploit, a malicious DLL file was silently downloaded from the internet and executed on the victim's computer. That file turned out to be an info stealer, a type of malware designed to steal sensitive data, such as passwords, cookies, and other personal files. But that leads to the real question. How does malware like this make its way onto the official BeamNG forum? As it turns out, someone had gained access to the mod creator's account. I tried to uncover exactly how this happened, but even Primo himself doesn't know how his account got compromised. Since he hadn't played BeamNG in quite some time, it took him several weeks to even realize that his account had been stolen. The malicious version of the map was uploaded to the BeamNG forums on April 1st, disguised as an update supposedly adding a Patreon banner to the map. Players quickly started complaining about the update, because the whole map was completely broken. But none of them realized that they had unknowingly downloaded a version containing malware. It wasn't until April 26th that Lemonite published a detailed article explaining how he discovered the malicious code hidden in the mod. I will also leave a link to that article in the description if you would like to check out all the technical details. Fortunately, the exploit was active for only one single day. BeamNG's 0.35 update, released on April 2nd, included a newer Chromium version that prevented the exploit from working. However, older versions of the game remain vulnerable to this kind of attack. Even though the exploit was only active for a short time, the infected version was downloaded over 3,500 times, which is not a small number. If the game update had come just a bit later, the outcome could have been far worse. Thankfully, the American Road mod is now completely safe again. The compromised version was quickly removed and replaced with a clean, older build, shortly after Lemonite reported the issue. This incident proves a hard truth. No source for mods is completely safe. Even trusted creators or websites can be compromised. Use common sense when downloading files from the internet. Always scan every file you get and keep your game and antivirus up to date for maximum safety. So, what do you think about all this? Were you around when any of these incidents happened? Or have you even been a victim of these exploits? Let me know your thoughts and experiences down in the comments. You can also check out one of my older videos, where I talked about whether BeamNG mods can actually be harmful. Thanks for watching and stay safe out there.